Do you guys think Watch the Throne aged well?
Wow, you continue on what happened last week.
On Twitter. I saw this debated on Twitter, and I
I know.
Like, we're gonna talk about it.
Because my thing is, I think like some of it did and some of it didn't. Because like Ham definitely like didn't.
Well, I don't think it's ever fair to look. I think
Let me say this. Actually,
impact of the album has held over well. Like, I think as a collab album between those two artists, like, it's still considered like what it was. I don't think the impact it had when it first came out versus now has changed that much. Do I think some of the songs that were released purely for like kind of turn up value still hold up as strong as they did back in 2014? No, but I think
2011.
2011. That's way later. Yeah, bro.
I know it was almost 10 years ago, so exactly no.
Yeah,
I still think that Otis is a great song.
Oh yeah, no.
He's
Some songs
actually-
have like dubsteppy production, and it's like, oh, this is
like songs like Ham and even Ninjas in Paris have kind of those type songs because those are obviously the big radio songs. But all the other songs, like the sound of them, if they came out now, like No Church in the Wild, that's a sound
Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah.
Like, you don't think of Welcome to the Jungle.
yeah, Welcome to the Jungle has a sound. I get that, but like songs like I'm tripping. No Church in the Wild and like Murder to Excellence. Those songs that come out now, and I think it'd be fine. There's like the popular songs, are the ones that but Otis, I think it'd come out now and still be a good song.
Otis could come out whenever.
Sure, the popular songs would be like, I think if they release Ninjas in Paris now, I think it'd still be a pretty big song. So it's still a big summer song to me. Like, I'm not sure it like it's faded that fast.
Yeah. I
Maybe
think
we can like dominate the summer the way that song was on everywhere. I don't know if you remember. Like,
It's still everywhere. It still like shows up on things.
it's still everywhere. I think people are getting a little too dramatic about the sound of it and how things have changed. It's not that much. It hasn't changed that much. Like the sound, like in terms of that sound, it's still very much, present in the music that comes out today. In terms of a lot of things that we're doing on the album, I think.
really
I was just wondering because I was like, my initial like gut reaction was like, yeah, it did, and then I thought about it. I was like, oh,
yeah.
there's some really like, yeah, the dubstep is what just keeps coming to my mind.
For
Like
sure.
the weird.
It's
Yeah.
He was in that mold.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that sound had its like moment and then
Had a
just
moment.
faded. Like, I feel like I didn't even notice. Like, it is just gone now. But it was so big, like the old dubsteppy like interpretation.
That was a moment.
It was.
Dubstep.
And
Yeah.
the question is, do you think we'll ever get to Watch the Throne 2?
No, never.
That's the better
I
question.
want one,
Never.
but I don't think it's gonna happen.
I don't want one because I think it'd be bad. I'm not gonna lie.
He tweeted last week. Did you see his tweet last week? Kanye's tweet.
Kanye's a liar.
It's like,
Okay.
he said miss my bro, and it was a picture of the two of them. Like,
Yo, we gotta
really
go a
bad
show.
picture.
We gotta go a show without talking about Kanye. I'm not even lying. Yo. It's like this get bad. We gotta go a show without talking about Kanye. It's get bad.
We did a show without talking about Kanye and Drake. I think he's very cool.
And honestly, the way the summer's going, I doubt either pair of those.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But are you already get started? Want to dive in?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Welcome to another edition of the 97 Demo Podcast, where we give you the latest in music. I'm saying music, news, and a whole bunch of fun things along the way. This week's big thing, that XXL Freshman list. So we'll talk about people who are on the cover, some snubs, and much, much more later on. But before we get started, gentlemen, my co-host, how are you doing?
You're good.
Names.
Good.
Yeah, forgot that's a thing.
We should introduce ourselves again, right?
right now.
Well, it's Noah, it's Nnamdi, and Avery. You know who the deal is. You know what it is. Man. No, weekend was good, man. Got to be with family yesterday. Got to be outside. It was nice. Got some home cooked food, which is really nice. It was good, man.
What did you eat? What was the plate?
Oh man, we had spaghetti. We had chicken. We had. That was it. What's that salad with the pasta noodles in it? What's it called? You know what I'm talking. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Like pasta salad.
Is it just called pasta salad? It's called pasta salad. I think it's called pasta salad. Yeah, pasta salad.
Yeah.
Pasta salad, greens, all that, black
good.
good stuff, black good food. You know what I'm saying. But yeah.
Hey,
That's good. Last week in Texas. Last full week in Texas before I ship off to school.
probably
week.
better for your health.
Yeah, probably. We'll see.
Is it really where you're going from one place to? It's fine.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, we're not gonna talk about that.
Next time we'll be in my dorm room.
That's true.
Oh,
Well, what about you, Nnamdi? How was your weekend?
pretty good. We got to go to the beach. That's
Beach?
fun. Anytime
How was that?
That's good.
on a beach trip, a socially distanced beach trip, of course.
That's good, of course. Stay safe.
Here.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. Can't complain.
That's
excited
good.
to record again, guys. It's been like the longest 7
It feels
days.
like a long time. It was a long week.
Yeah.
Very long week. So.
Yeah, but I mean, why don't we reflect on the music we had this week? Starting off with our charts rundown. Go ahead and dive in.
What just happened? Nnamdi just froze. Are we gonna start this over?
This man.
I'm just gonna stop. One of us are frozen. Okay.
Oh, you're back. You're back. Are we all frozen?
Way, and I was like, am I frozen or are you guys frozen? Because one of us is frozen.
It's all good. Let's keep going. We good.
Okay, but okay. Starting on the Hot 100, Watermelon Sugar, Harry Styles, number 1 for the first time. It jumped 6 spots from number 7. Its 20th week on its chart. It finally hit number 1. So impressive there. That's Harry Styles' first solo number 1. He's the second One Direction member, following Zayn, to have a number 1. So good for them.
Who would have imagined that too? With
Yeah.
One Direction. Zayn had him number 1 before Harry Styles.
I think it was Zayn's like first one too. I think it was like
Yeah.
his very first single once not debuted at number 1.
He was the first one to leave, right? And I think there's a lot
Yeah.
of interest with that. So.
Yeah, he drove that to number 1. But top 5, DaBaby Rockstar with Roddy Ricch still at number 2. Been on the chart for 16 weeks now. What's Poppin' by Jack Harlow still at number 3. Blinding Lights by The Weeknd up 1 to number 4 after 36 weeks onto the chart. The real song of the year, in my opinion, I already know. And then Roses by St. John, number 5. Billie Eilish debuting at number 6 with My Future.
I think Avery called that. I think Avery thought it was gonna be higher, but Avery called it was gonna be pretty high.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Avery did.
No, you did, because I thought the song that I thought was gonna be higher, if I remember right, was Move Your Hips. I thought that was gonna get a top 10 debut.
Yeah, it's 19, I think.
For 19, I believe, around.
Yep, 19.
And then now we're just jumping around, but I know we talked about TikTok songs, y'all, and this is a song that I didn't know what it was from, but I know it very well. Savage Love, Jason Derulo, featuring I don't remember his name, Josh 685, who was the TikToker. Funny story, I didn't know this was a song. The TikTok story, it's that beat that goes like dun 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 dun, dun, you know, so I recognized that.
Yeah.
Jason Derulo took that, made a remix of it, and now that's charting. Surprise, number 7. So I mean,
Man grinds on TikTok.
good for. I respect it though.
He's definitely getting a check, so I would grind.
Oh, for sure.
So,
His
yeah.
whole life. I don't know. Like I want to know how many hours of his week does he devote to TikTok? It feels like it's like his full-time job now.
That's not a bad job, honestly.
My
No,
thing
not
is,
at all.
if it's the way the times are going, I respect him for jumping on the trend first. Like,
Mhm.
get fully into it. Because people, I remember I shocked my brother. Jason Derulo is like number 6, I think, of most. He's for sure in the top 10 of most listened to artists on Spotify right now, I think.
Wow.
Wow.
You wouldn't think that, but like, he is, because people listen to his stuff, you know, because I think he stays on top of trends like this.
Yeah.
Kudos to him. Anything else
Yeah.
on the chart surprise you? Anything you want to talk about?
It's Chris Brown song.
Chris Brown song. That's from Chris Brown and Young Thug's collab album. Yeah, that's a cool song. Yeah, nothing really surprised. It's kind of the same old with some, with Billie Eilish. I expect next week to be very different for the obvious reasons, but yeah, so nothing really surprising here.
Yeah.
So.
Were there any other debuts we're looking forward to?
We should have it. Let's see.
In terms of singles?
Yeah, or like anything that we're expecting to be on here.
Oh, definitely WAP.
Oh, that's next week, right?
That's next week. Next week though.
I think that would be on this week.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, you mean for now? Oh, yeah, I can't think of anything now for right
For
now.
me, the big ones were My Future, Move Your Hips. Oh, Over Your Head, Future and Lil Uzi. I want to say that's like number 101. Maybe it's bubbling under. I thought it charted somewhere.
Okay.
But I know it's pretty far down. Let's see anything else. I don't think By Any Means by Georgia Smith charted.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It didn't chart. I don't want to talk about the people that didn't. I'll get sad because
Unfortunately though, but that's a good song though.
It's the baby song, 92. It's No Dribble with Stunna for Vegas.
Yeah.
Never heard
Did you get? Yeah, let's do it.
I never heard it.
One day we're gonna talk about the baby on this.
One day we're gonna talk about the baby too. We're gonna talk about the baby one day.
It might be soon because I don't know.
Yeah.
I think this man, he releases so much music too.
He really does.
I mean, it worked for Future, maybe it worked for the baby.
Yeah.
Current way things happen. Over on the Billboard 200, Folklore is still at number 1. I believe it sold 147.
Not really a surprise there.
Second week, 135K, 135,000 for its second week debut. It has sold 981,000 units since coming out like 3 weeks ago. So don't be surprised, that's still there. I'm at number 2. Pop Smoke though, still at number 2 on this chart, which is nice, reassuring.
Yeah, I'm assuming that comes from kind of his deluxes. That deluxe those numbers are kind of coming in now, which we talked about last week. Check that episode out. So yeah, that's kind of working for Pop Smoke, of course. Still a good album. Still has great repeat value. So.
How many of these albums in the top 10 have deluxes? You have The Lion King, you have Wanna, Blame It on Baby, My Turn, Legends Never Die, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon.
Yeah. But
pretty much every rap album.
Yeah.
I think in the top 5 is Juice WRLD. Well, okay, Juice WRLD didn't. Legends Never Die at number 3. He didn't have a deluxe.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
He
That's true.
didn't.
He didn't have one. That's
Hamilton,
right.
and that's still because of
The show.
Disney Plus. So that's probably why that's still at number 4. My Turn Little Baby at number 5 did have a deluxe. Blame It on Baby was a deluxe, So it looks like for the most part, the rap albums that are within still in the top, whatever, 10, 20, a lot of them are deluxes. Wanna was a deluxe.
Hollywood's Bleeding, I got to give credit for. It's been the top 10 for basically the last year. Literally,
Forever.
basically the last year. Like,
it's got 4 weeks to go to be here for a year.
It's really ridiculous. So yeah.
I'm surprised he hasn't hopped on the deluxe train to try it. I mean, I guess it's doing well enough anyways, but
I guess it don't matter now.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, Brandy. Oh wow.
I'll skip from debut. The Lion King. Before you get to Lion King.
My bad.
Thank you. Shout out to Beyonce and Wizkid and Burna Boy and T.Y. Savage.
Oh,
and all
and also shout out really quick. It is kind of look forward to the XXL cover. Shout out to Baby Keem, because I'm pretty sure he has production credits on here, and he also has production credits on Black Panther, so he's in that soundtrack thing. So shout out to Baby Keem for producing on that. My guy. But yeah, that's actually a great project. I listened to a lot of music this week, guys, and I listened to that. That's a really good project, actually.
It was.
I really enjoyed it. I love that cover too. That cover's awesome.
It's so dope.
Yeah.
It's simple, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Brandy.
Shout out to Moesha. I've been watching that show lately a lot. It's really good. But yeah, man. Did anybody listen to that? I ain't listened to that.
I have not.
Nnamdi?
No, sorry, that was something that happened off cam. That was funny. I listened to some of the songs from the Brandy album. Brandy can sing, and
she can sing.
People knew that, but our generation may not. But I don't think Brandy's been out so long that I don't think our generation's as familiar with like how big her peak was. So I'm happy that she had this song come back. She had a song called Freedom Rings that I liked a lot. I believe it's on this project, and I listened to that. So yeah, y'all know I love R&B, and Brandy's the one that for sure can deliver. So I'm not mad at it at all.
That's good.
Were there any other albums you were looking for on this week's chart? It's always hard to remember, but I think we saw the deluxes that we expected.
Yeah,
it's more set.
Not a lot of albums from last week that, from what I remember. I see a couple. Logic had a big drop.
Where's he at now?
He's go up. He was at like 20 something. He was at 20 something. 31, which is honestly, that's not surprising. He has a really strong cult fan base that really support him. So I'm not surprised to see him go down. Oh, Amine. Has Amine? Or is that next week? Is that gonna be next week?
That's next week.
That's
next week. Okay.
4 days when this comes out, that's when Amine should make his debut on here. I'm
interested because that's the Amine project I've liked the most out of all of them. I think a lot of people would say this is his best one too.
I think so.
Yeah. So yeah, Good Kid, Mad City still on there.
Moving up by 22 spots.
They're after 500 years, after the last decade. So yeah.
My computer is not handling these.
Honestly,
okay.
Go back to the rundown, because if we're doing upcoming debuts, things that we can expect to make their start, we know WAP's going to be number 1. I don't think that's even up for debate. And yeah, definitely going to be it's going to be a big song, because there's been some developments that I didn't know about WAP that are insane. It's already gold. It was 500,000 units sold. It's been number 1 on global Spotify for a couple days now. It was the first song to get more streams on its second day than its first. Its YouTube video had like a record first week views. And if you see our video listeners, if you're looking at my co-hosts, you probably see their faces, and I'll own up to it and I'll do it publicly. I had doubts about the impact this song would have. I had doubts if it was, that comeback single we wanted from Cardi B. And well, let me say something about Nnamdi Oguanu. I will argue a lot. I will talk a lot. But when I'm wrong, I openly will admit to being wrong. Because I was wrong. The song is pretty huge. And I don't foresee it not being huge at the rate it's going, in a couple of weeks. So kudos to Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. What's obviously going to be number one. They're set to have some of the biggest first week unit sales, whatever, this year. So that's huge. Good for them. And there you go. That's how I did it. There you go. Okay?
I got you. I don't have nothing to say on that, bro. Has anybody listened to this Doja Cat track, Freak? Has anybody listened to that?
It's not new. Like,
it's old?
Like, I think it was on her album, right?
And she just released it as a single?
I think she released it as a single because it became a big TikTok song. Surprise. Oh. But, I don't think, it's not new. It's definitely not new.
Maybe it's a single release.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, I can't really. Yeah, I can't really see anything else coming on here. For, like, really making a big impact on the charts for the most part. Kali Uchis I know Kali Uchis is popular, but to me she's like in that Georgia Smith range. Like, a lot of people know who she is, but I don't know if she has that chart impact yet.
And it isn't up that song is majority in Spanish. Those songs tend to be harder for songs that are
exactly. I'm pretty sure there's a Latin chart that it might chart on. I'm pretty sure Billboard has that. But yeah.
We can Juice WRLD track my chart somewhere.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Those artists are. I don't know. Do you guys think it'll be high?
I think it'll be top 20. I can see top 25.
Yeah, because don't they already have this is a brand new song, right? That was a brand new song, right? They already have a song on the album, right? I'm pretty sure. Don't they have a song on the album? Weeknd and Juice WRLD? They might. I'm not sure. But yeah, Weeknd, obviously one of the biggest pop artists in the world. Juice WRLD, who obviously has passed, but his posthumous album was one of the biggest releases of the year. I'm pretty sure that might be the second selling album in terms of first week behind Taylor Swift. It's up there. It's really up there. It's up there. Yeah, big debut week. So yeah.
That's Amina Limbo. That probably will. If I could guess, I'd forecast a top 10 debut for Amina.
I say top 15. I don't know.
I want us to get, and Avery did this once. I want us to remember where we project these. And
I say
can be next week.
I was bad on a lot.
I remember I was bad. No, write it down because I was bad on some rock. I said something like top 50. It's an EP, and it was like 10 or something like that, or like 12. It was bad. But Amine, I'll say top 15. I'll say between I'll say between like 11 and 15. That's what I say.
I'm gonna say top 10. I'll give it to him at like number 8 because I don't see what else is coming out next week, and I think he definitely has enough momentum to interrupt like the consistent albums that have been in the top 10.
I might just have a bad idea of how popular I know he's popular. I know people know his music, obviously. But
I think it's like a Logic where he has a base, and eventually he'll remember when Logic did it.
He just came,
for like 4 years into his career after his first project dropped. I see that being an Amine.
That's a good point. You might have a strong fan base that really supports him that first week that come out and support it and buy it. So exactly. I can see that happening. That makes sense.
I have him top 10 and I have it written down so we can check back next week. And
that's good, Avery.
Or next time we record, and I'll have it.
For sure.
And even more music. Enough talking about all these charts. Here are the new releases, the things that just came out. I think the clear big one, Drake, Laugh Now, Cry Later, featuring Lil Durk. What are your thoughts?
I think we all agree this is the best single for Drake that's come out this year. Best Drake single this year.
I really like this.
Drake called this his debut single though, because has Drake come out with any other actual singles this year?
Grease, Pop. Oh, they're DJ Khaled. That's right.
They're just songs that he came out with.
That's true. That's true.
They're either like lab seated or features. Like this is his song, and it is. I like it a lot.
I loved it. Yeah.
It seems like this is the debut single for his album, which you got a confirmation, which is called Certified Lover Boy. Confirm that. Certified Lover Boy. So I actually love the track. The music video was great. I'm gonna say Baby all week. It's a fun track.
It's one of those songs that he comes out with where it's like in your mind, you just kind of pair it with the music video. Like God's Plan is the last one I can think of where it's like when I hear that song, I think of the music video. I think it's going to be the same thing for this song. Like, they're riding jet skis on a lake on the Nike campus.
I'm a really big fan of the music. I watched the music video the day it came out. Like a lot of, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I told Avery this Nnamdi right before I think you were out a little bit, but I was saying it's super meme worthy, and you know when Drake has a meme with the music video, you can just book it top 5 #1 hit probably. You know, In My Feelings had people doing the little dance. You know, God's Plan had people doing the meme. Laugh Not Cry Later, it's the picture of him crying, doing the meme.
Hey, you know what he was doing by putting Drewski in the video?
He has Drewski in it, who's like a big, internet comedian. So
with him crying, like you literally give us a moment there, like
it's all there. So nothing else to say about that, but just a great song. Nas,
that'll probably be #1 in 2 weeks, whenever that's
2 weeks. Yeah. Nas, Ultra Black, who's also the lead singer for his album. It's actually the lead singer for his album. I'm gonna get confirmation.
The King's Disease, right?
Mm-hmm. The King's Disease. I listened to the track. It was cool. It was cool.
They had a Doja Cat diss on it.
Doja Cat shot.
That's the thing.
I don't remember the
line.
She
responded, but I didn't see what.
Yeah, who cares?
I didn't see
Who cares the Doja Cat thing? But yeah, whatever. This is the first album since that Kanye album from 2018, from those Kanye albums, which is actually mixed reviews on that album from what I remember on that Kanye Nas album.
It was a short one though, right?
Short, but I don't think that's what a lot of
I
don't think that's what a lot of Nas fans wanted from that album. I liked it, I enjoyed it, but I think it got some mixed reviews. I don't think everybody was like, it's a great, or it was just so.
A lot of these were albums. It's like there was just no way else to kid. But Burna Boy came up with Twice as Tall, his follow-up to African Giant, which I very much so enjoyed. I've not got the chance to listen to this entire thing full out, but I've heard some of the singles. He has a song with Chris Martin, probably a little bit more pop-friendly, Monsters You Made. Also a song with Stormzy, a big UK rapper, Real Life, and then a couple other features on there too. So I am looking forward to listening to it. And yeah, he impressed me with African Giant, so I have no doubt. So this will probably be good.
Yeah. Just some other ones I want to run through. Davies, Karma 3. I like Davies. I'm a big fan. Well, not a big fan, but I mess with him, so I'm gonna check that out. Boldy James, I put that down also. The Versace tape, which is Jay Versace, the Instagram guy. It's a collab album.
And we need to talk about Jay Versace too.
We need to talk about him.
I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think there's been someone from the TikTok, Vine, not even TikTok, the Vine, like Instagram, Twitter, like early Twitter, that group of influencers that were just really put being funny on the map. I don't think one of them is able to break out this successfully, at least to produce a full length body of work and be considered respected, because he's really good at it. And I don't
it's so crazy though. When you expect somebody like from that TikTok internet space, you expect them to be a poppy song. This is literally the hardest gangster coke selling rap ever, right now. And that's literally what it's gonna be about: coke and selling crack and killing people. That's what the album's gonna be about. And that's who he produces for, like West Side Gun, all those people. That's who he produces for. And this is actually Boldy James. I'm pretty sure he just signed to Griselda with like West Side Gun and them.
Yeah.
I think this is his debut with them. I think it's under Griselda. So that's
interesting. Jay Versace's been producing for Griselda a lot. So
so this is all Jay Versace production. So yeah. Yeah, NBA Youngboy. Oh, fix that, Nnamdi. Good job. NBA Youngboy, Young Dolph. Young Dolph.
The only other things that I really listened to, I listened to the Miley Cyrus single "Midnight Sky." Pop really hasn't been huge this year, so I think there's more to saying that coming out. Anderson .Paak Rick Ross, Cut Him In. I enjoyed that.
That song was so good.
Was that good? I haven't listened to it yet.
Yeah, it was really good.
That Earth Gang song, Powered Up.
I listened to both of those Dreamville songs. They're both really good. They were both good. I like Earth Gang. I like Loot. Both signed to Dreamville. Super dope releases. So yeah.
Yeah. I put a Cash Page on here. She's an R&B artist from Dallas. That's my project of the week. Spoiler, but she came out with her debut album. Isaiah Rashad, a few other people are on it.
Oh yeah, you told me. I gotta check it out.
And then Tori Kelly came out with an album too.
Yeah.
And also, we want to get Dame Dollar, who's also Damian Lillard with the Portland Trailblazers.
After carrying the Blazers to
we want to get
playoffs.
This is not a sports podcast, but after carrying the Blazers to the playoffs, he dropped the EP on SoundCloud. It's on SoundCloud only, I believe.
Do you think he would have released it if they lost?
No, he couldn't. That'd be a bad look.
Like that, we would have laughed at you. But he
That's a bad look. That's a bad look. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, a lot of music then. And I think we're going to have a lot of music next weekend too. I think we're at the point of the summer where you're going to get like a whole bunch of releases. So looking forward to it. I've been waiting for it. So glad we're here. Now we'll get into our headlines. The first one, if you follow either Noah or I on Twitter, you probably got a glimpse of this because we were in the middle of a very heated argument about this. Fat Joe, in a interview talking about Drake, called him the Michael Jackson of this time, referring to, within, specifically in this interview, referring to the fact that he can produce a #1 hit after hit after hit, saying, just like Michael Jackson, he's just that guy. He does it. So I brought that debate to Noah and I said, okay, do you think Michael, how do you feel about this? Is Drake the Michael Jackson of our time? And we had different thoughts. Noah, everyone weigh in. What do you think about this statement? Is Drake our Michael Jackson?
Well, not only the fact that, at the time, I'm not as emotional about it as I was when Nnamdi brought it to our attention.
Down a little bit.
Yeah, we've calmed down. That was early in the week, but I had strong reaction because obviously I grew up with Michael Jackson, music in my household. A lot of Michael Jackson music spanning his whole career, obviously. So I have strong thoughts about Michael Jackson and his music. So obviously my first reaction was no, Michael Jackson's a legend. He's probably the greatest artist ever. A lot of people would, he's up there for a lot of people. And, I would say, I get what Nnamdi was saying in terms of referring to his singles and him being popular and him having #1 after #1. And I said, I get that, but I just wasn't comfortable saying that now because to me, Michael Jackson did it for 40 plus years. You know what I'm saying? 40 plus years. Drake, obviously, he's been popular for a long time, but it's been 10 years. And I was more comfortable saying somebody, I still won't put him at this level, but somebody like Beyonce, who's been around for 20 years, has been around, like, they weren't always the top person, but they've been one of the most popular people in the world for the last 20 plus years. And I said, if we give Drake some time, yeah, I don't mind saying that. And also we got into all these other debate, like, Michael Jackson's performance and all these other elements of it. But, yeah, a lot of other things that obviously didn't matter. But I just wasn't comfortable saying that now. It's like, we got to give Drake time to say if he's the Michael Jackson at the time when it's only been 10 years. I just think that wasn't fair to Drake or Michael Jackson. So that's my thoughts. Avery?
I was like, Avery, what do you have to say?
I want to hear Nnamdi's point. Sounds like there's a counterpoint coming.
I wasn't a counterpoint. So my whole thing with this is, of course, Michael Jackson is on his own level because what makes Michael Jackson is the fact that he had consistent hits, not for 1 decade, not for 2, not for 3, but for, like Noah said, for like 40, 50 years. Like, Michael Jackson,
his whole life, essentially,
was performing in the 60s, like there's this, and he passed in 2009 when he was about to go on a tour, so still active. Like, so any comparison is just, let's be real, isn't gonna be adequate. Like, there won't probably ever be a Michael Jackson of our time discussion that'll be fair to whatever artist you're trying to compare it to. But Fat Joe in this Instagram live with Rick Ross was talking about Drake's ability to produce hit after hit, and I said, if you're talking about it like that, if you're saying, is there an artist that, like Michael Jackson, can send just about any song to the top of the Billboard charts, can sell out arenas, can on a global scale has a name that big? Drake wouldn't be that far off. Now, like Noah said, in our argument, there was layers. We started talking, but can Drake dance? Can he perform? Can he just be silent on stage for 5 minutes?
It got heated.
Crazy. It's like, no, he can't. Okay. But if the question is more so, who is the most popular artist that, can generate hit after hit? Who is that? As of now, probably, if we're just saying of our time, and that's the standard, probably Drake, right? So that was how I went into the argument, and I didn't realize it was going to spiral out of control. But Avery, now we've heard our points.
I just think it's a really easy comparison to make, right? Like, if you're saying it's the Michael Jackson of our time, I think you're talking about a singular generation. So I think Drake is not a bad comparison to make, but obviously, as with all things, it's more nuanced than just saying he's like Michael Jackson, right? We need to give Drake some time. If we want him to ascend to this level, we need to give him another solid 20 years to figure out if this is true. Probably more than that, just to see if his music is, still cool when we're 50, 60 years old, as it is with Michael Jackson right now, right?
Part of me was obviously trying to argue with Nnamdi. I got his point, popular artists getting hit after hit, But I just feel like people are so quick to make comparisons all the time. It's like, why are we even doing that? It's like saying, I don't want to say anything like with sports. It's like when Patrick Mahomes, he won the Super Bowl, was like, oh my gosh, he's the GOAT already. It's like, okay, like what? Like he's not. He's great, but he's not. It's just like I just feel like we have to make the comparison. Like you could say Drake's the most popular, biggest artist in the world that gets more number ones than anybody now, without saying Michael Jackson. I feel like you have to make that claim.
I do think Drake has this like uncanny ability that like Mike had, where they could like just make a hit. Right?
It's just super easy.
It's crazy. Like we don't get many artists like this where it's just they can just come out with something and it's a hit every time. It's so consistent. So I think if that is like Nnamdi said, if that's the point that Fat Joe is making with this, then like I don't think he's wrong.
Yeah, I get
obviously
that.
It's more layered than just saying like
for sure.
That I think could even be entertained in this discussion are Beyonce and Drake right now, at least.
Absolutely.
And that's like it goes beyond hits, just culturally speaking as well. Like I could see someone argue like, oh well, Taylor Swift has had number ones and has sold the most records. Yeah, but I still probably wouldn't get like that. Just this doesn't work. But I'll say I do agree with Noah to the extent of there probably won't be another Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, still the Michael Jackson of our time, but of this specific subset of time we're in.
I feel you. Yeah, we came to
Drake is the Drake of our time, and Michael Jackson is the Michael Jackson.
He is the Drake of our time.
And just so we don't stay on this forever, I'm going to segue as to our next topic. So if you thought the VMAs performer list was crazy, wait till you hear about the DNC, because the Democratic National
the hottest show.
Is a show that you're gonna get.
If y'all want a concert, forget about all that other stuff. Go to the Democratic National Convention.
Bump Grammys, bump Coachella.
Bump Coachella. Yeah, bump all that. Yeah, man.
It's gonna be a better lineup than some festivals, honestly.
It really is.
You got Billie Eilish, Leon Bridges, The Chicks, Common, John Legend, Billy Porter, Jennifer Hudson, Maggie Rogers. Like this is a solid lineup that Democrats have come up with.
This is surprising because I have not connected performances to the DNC before, and like I know in the past there have been some, because I feel like I vaguely remember maybe Lady Gaga doing something once at a DNC, and I kind of vaguely remember Beyonce doing something. I don't know performances, but I vaguely remember like there being some sort of collaboration. But I don't feel like I've seen a year where they're like, here's our lineup, like tune in, I just I associated that with just any connection.
Look at these ads we have on this page.
I know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm with you, Nnamdi. I've always like associated artists. Like I remember when Hillary was running, Pusha T was heavily involved, or not Pusha T. Pusha T was with Bernie or something like that. I don't remember. But a lot of artists have been associated with different candidates. Killer Mike, noticeably with Bernie Sanders, that's like his guy. So musicians and politics has always been connected for as long as we could say. But this is really a festival lineup at a DNC, which I don't remember happening in the last couple of elections.
Maybe we're just too young to like remember something like this happening, but I don't.
But I feel like maybe you've had someone performing the national anthem, but
but not a lineup like this. Like we had like, we're gonna have these 10 artists come. I don't remember that happening before.
Also, this one is in person, isn't it? Or
I don't know.
It's virtual. Okay.
It's virtual. Okay. Still, it's pretty crazy.
This is it's just weird. The one that sticks out to me is Jay-Z doing "My President's Black" after Obama got elected. that's the one that sticks out to me.
That's classic.
Jay-Z song.
That's classic. That's classic.
That's a
classic. That's a good song. That's a good song. So
So you can go to the live stream from this page. The official live stream for the 2020
Gaga has performed at some DNC event before, so it has happened before. But look at this.
I mean, it's virtual, so it's probably a lot easier to get these artists too, since it's going to be virtual.
Yeah,
too. So
that's true.
So different, but I might check it out for the performances. Why not? So
it's just funny. I want them to come up with like a festival kind of like lineup poster that has like
they really
Billie
should
Eilish and all that, but it also has like Elizabeth Warren
and then Biden and Kamala Harris at the top.
The headline.
Billie Eilish. Yeah, that would be funny. They should actually do that. That would actually gotta be funny, but
okay, just making our way through these headlines.
This is not an endorsement.
But Christopher Laws, who was Biggie's son, who was a baby, when his dad unfortunately passed, is doing some pretty cool work. He released some music, but I guess I read some of this, and the music is just really one part of this entire thing.
Computer's struggling, girl. Okay, we're good.
We got money. We good.
But he has a group called Think Big. They're a social impact company that basically advocates for a whole bunch of things, including criminal justice reform, the legalization of marijuana. He released remixes of his dad's songs. I don't think they have the rights, so they're not direct remixes, but he interprets a lot of the sounds in some of his dad's biggest records. And it's a house and dance album, so definitely a reimagination of some of these. But like this says, he doesn't use any original samples. But I mean, it sounded. I listened to the Big Papa House mix.
Yeah, same.
It sounds. If you're looking for the original song, it's not that. But it can be played in the club, and I'll give it that. So
yeah.
I think the bigger thing that's cool here is it says the album's dedicated to Black, brown, and queer creatives. And that, you know, he is trying, CJ Wallace, who is Biggie's son, says he's trying to, you know, extend his father's legacy while also creating, you know, his own musical background, you know. So that was
pretty interesting how one thing that he said in here was that he was so nervous to come out with his own music. And so like this is like a big step for him personally, like coming out with this music. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it's always interesting with these artists or like anybody like that's such legendary and they have kids and they're trying to find their pace and they're trying to do something that's similar. It seems like he's kind of finding his niche, you know, finding like, you know, I'm not a rapper. I'm not like doing the exact same thing as my dad when it's going to be directly compared, but you know, he's taking his dad's legacy and making it his own, which is exactly what he should do, which is really interesting. I believe this is his child with Faith Evans, I believe. I'm not sure, Nnamdi. The child with the Faith Evans. So yeah, that's really dope for him to be doing this. So yeah, shout out to CJ Wallace. So yeah.
All right. What else? Let's see what else we have. Oh my gosh.
Oh goodness. Nnamdi feels strongly about this.
About Kanye, but I felt like we had to, just from like a news perspective. It's still big enough. Kanye West reportedly met with Jared Kushner, who is the son-in-law to President Donald Trump, married to Ivanka Trump. Yeah. As we all know, Kanye is currently petitioning to get on a whole bunch of state ballots in November. There have been some other stories about this, how apparently there have been some GOP operatives trying to aid him in doing that for obvious reasons that we don't have to get into on this podcast because we don't do politics. But just the headlines enough. When asked whether Kanye has said that he's willing to go live with the New York Times to talk about this after they broke the story. And he says that on the list of topics they talked about is included the abortion rates among Black women and Black empowerment. So that's what we got out of whatever this meeting was about.
It's interesting. This Kanye thing is so confusing every time. I get more confused every time he speaks. Yeah, I don't know how to feel still. Like, it's just all confusing every time because obviously he says he's serious about running for president, but when he did that rally, all the signatures he got, he never even turned it in to get on the ballot. So it's like, what the heck is going on? Like, I'm so confused. Is he serious about it? But then he's not turning in his signatures. I don't really have any thoughts on this. Anything's possible.
Like every few days we get like, oh, he is serious, and another couple days goes by, it's like, oh, this isn't real, and then we go another couple days, like, oh yeah, he's actually trying to get on this ballot. So
who's he going to be pictured with? Who's he going to be pictured with next? It was Elon Musk a couple weeks ago. It's Jared Kushner he's with now. Who's it next, guys? Like,
I think my only thing with this is we saw how he just kind of was the last couple of weeks and months. We heard statements from his family saying, hey, don't forget, like, please be considerate when talking about Kanye. He does have a mental illness. Like, let's remember that. We were told he wasn't too stable at all during the entire time. So I think because of that, it is sometimes it's like, with all that in mind, what are Jared Kushner and the GOP operatives seeking to gain from, I guess, from this? Not to say that they can't just be friends, which I think they've said in the past, but that's where my head goes to. It's like, what's the goal here? Albeit, I guess we'll just have to see what happens in November. I don't think Kanye will be our next president, but
okay. Although we've had a couple artists have come out and said they vote for him. DaBaby recently, he tweeted that too. But
Chance the Rapper might have.
Well, Chance the Rapper not might have. He is Kanye.
Was he all in?
No, he's all in on Kanye. Chance the Rapper is all in on Kanye.
They deleted those tweets, so I was confused.
Exactly. So I mean, yeah, I don't want to speak on his, his mental health. They say, he has it, but I don't know if that's an effect in this. I don't want to say all that, but I'm just confused. That's all I gotta say. I'm confused. So that's all.
Yeah.
Nothing really
I don't
else
have
to
to
say.
speak on that much longer.
Exactly. So.
To kind of end this on a higher note, Lil Wayne announced his Carter 6, and he also announced No Signal 3 first, which I think will be a mixtape. But the Carter's always an exciting event when we get another one of those.
Yeah, that's one of the most legendary, or it's probably the most legendary rap. Like, I don't know which one to call it. Album saga. I can't think of another series. I can't think of another. Yeah, Blueprint. I put Kanye's, his school themed albums up there, in terms of like the same theme, you know what I'm saying? But this is a legendary thing. Obviously, it's not as big of a deal because Kanye, obviously, his celebrity has changed in a different way. He has his own podcast now, which is actually pretty good. It's actually solid. The podcast is actually solid. I should check it out. But yeah, I hope Kanye's in good space so we can get some good music from Kanye. I'm never opposed to that. So Carter 6, let's get it.
I think Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. Yeah.
Like power off of Kanye. What are you talking about?
Oh, Kanye. I said Kanye. I meant Lil. Y'all know what I meant.
You knew your spirit.
Lil Wayne, Carter 6. You know what I'm saying. Hey, Kanye might be on the album, so.
Okay, now guys, but without further ado, because we've got so many times on headlines, and I haven't been timing this week, but I already know this is going to be a post-hour show. XXL came out with the freshman list. We wait for it every year. This year's 2020 list includes Nnamdi, Polo G.
Let's see the cover.
Baby Keem, Mulatto,
Jack Harlow,
Rod Wave, Lil TJ, Cowboy, Fivio Foreign, Lil Key, 24K Golden. Justin Zeekley, looking at the cover.
Yeah, I gotta ask, what were your first thoughts when you saw the cover, saw who was on it? What were your initial thoughts on the cover and the people on it?
I don't know so many of these people.
I was like, who is this? I was like, who are these people?
I thought it was cool. I think my opinion started off higher than y'all's did. I think we all kind of met in the middle, but
yeah.
I thought it was cool because I like some of these artists, so I thought it was kind of fun. But
yeah, I think with a lot of these XXL Freshman covers, I'm like, who are these people? And then you hear the songs and their songs are on, you're like, oh, I've heard them on some songs. Like you kind of when you see them, because a lot of these people you don't even see their faces, but you're like, I don't know who's who. But then you hear them on songs, you hear the songs that are most popular. You're like, oh, I know who these people are. So yeah. So
and we've been talking about the ages of this, so we'll get into this later. But one thing that Noah brought up one time we were talking about the covers was the fact that it feels like every year the people get younger, the list just looks younger and younger. And I'm here to tell you guys officially that's not the case. We're just getting older and we're getting more and more out of touch. The average age of this year's cover is 21.6. So everyone for the most part is 19, 21, 22. The oldest is Fivio Foreign, who's 30, and that's kind of what skews it to 21, but it's a young list. It's always been a young list. Last year's list, the average age was 22. The year before that was 21. So it's been around that age range, which is really interesting. And I think this list will always just humble us. I think the whole goal is to introduce people to the mainstream, push people to the forefront of culture. And it's probably going to involve a lot of people that you probably haven't heard of yet,
Yeah, and obviously, me and Nnamdi, we kind of had lower thoughts on like the cover and everything. And now every year on the XXL Freshman, I have like mixed thoughts on who's on the cover. But I think the cover is a good representation of what music is like now. Rap music is like now. Obviously, the type of music. I mean, we have people that have big TikTok songs. We have a woman on there. I'm surprised there should be a woman on there actually. But it's just like the type of music that's on here. It really makes sense.
Some drill in here too.
Drill music, obviously.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of everything here. We got poppy music. Obviously, Jack Harlow has the biggest, I'd say, single up here. Polo G, that's one of the best rap albums of the past year. A lot of people think it's one of the best albums of the past year. He's so popular. So yeah.
Nnamdi Chopper, who I believe, if you don't remember, has been #1 on the emerging artist chart for
past year
for a long time.
Yeah. So,
but I guess my first question for you guys is, we each decided to, okay, we're going to talk about it. Let's go in and listen to it. These artists the best we can in a week. So when we're talking about it, we actually know what we're saying. So after listening to these artists, what was your reaction? Did it change? Was it like, oh, I do know these people? Was it, oh, this person really can rap? Like, who was the standout after listening to their music, after taking that deep dive?
I think we all have the same standout. I think that okay, I'll speak for myself. The standout for me was Chica, because I'd never heard of her. And I don't know, I listened to her stuff and I was like kind of blown away by how like good it was. I don't know, it was a lot different than anyone else on this list. I think there's a couple people on this list that are like kind of different than everyone else, but yeah, I was really happy to hear her, and I've listened to her a lot since I did do that initial like listening of everyone.
Yeah, when the list first came out, I was like, they were like, guys, we should listen to it. And I was like, oh my gosh, a lot of people. So the first person I went to was Baby Keem, because I'm not gonna lie, he's cousins with Kendrick and he had the shortest projects. So I'm not gonna lie, guys, Baby Keem, I enjoy his music a lot.
Bro,
I really
Baby Keem fan.
Baby Keem, first of all, he's nothing like Kendrick Lamar. I thought he was kind of gonna be like him. He's nothing like him at all. But
it reminds me of like early Tyler the Creator, where he just says the most outlandish stuff. Like
he's not as good of a rapper.
No,
yeah, not as good of a rapper.
But like just the lyrics are like so out of left field.
Yeah,
he's wild.
He's actually pretty funny. Actually, his projects are actually pretty funny. So I enjoyed his project. Album. Yeah, we're not gonna say them. Yeah, we're not gonna say that. But I enjoyed those a lot. Obviously, Chica is the best rapper out of everybody here, and I listened to her project was really good. And also, really quickly, NLA Choppa, I'm a big fan of a lot of his singles. It's a lot of fun music. I really enjoy NLA Choppa a lot. I'm a big fan of his.
That is so surprising for you. That is random.
Well, NLA Choppa, he doesn't. Okay, people put him in like mumble rap or like a Future, but he raps well. Like he can rap well. It's just he's talking about really hard gangsta stuff, but he raps really, really well. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoy his music. So yeah.
I think for me, of course, I like Chica. She's Nigerian, so I listened to her first for that. I was familiar with her because I want to say what was her Tiny Desk performance. And that that was like viral on Twitter and was really, really good. Wait, did I freeze? Are you laughing? Are you?
No, your phone's just always blowing up.
Wait, could you see that my phone was ringing?
We can hear it.
We can hear it.
But yeah, I think Avery, like you said, I think she was a great rapper for sure. Even in the freestyle videos with the T's, is like the clear lyricist of the group. That being said, listening to everyone's stuff, there was way more people that I was familiar with that I just didn't know. I've said that a whole bunch of times. But Fivio Foreign, I want to say five.
I'm pretty sure it's Fivio Foreign.
He does drill. Like I recognized him when I listened to his stuff. He was kind of he was with Pop Smoke during the thing in New York, the drill
drill music. Yeah.
And I'd listened to a lot of his music and just didn't even know that I was listening to him.
Yeah, like Rod Wave. He has a big song on TikTok actually now. It's like, he has a really big song on TikTok, which is what I recognize him from. So
Rod Wave has been around for a little bit. Like he could have probably been on last year. Exactly. And it would have made sense too.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, he's been around for a minute. So yeah. Lil Kid is signed to Young Thug, which is also not surprising that he's on here. I have a lot of my people from Atlanta that who listen to his album a lot. I saw on their Instagram stories a lot. So honestly, the only people that I really wasn't aware of was Cowboy, 24K Golden, actually, for the most part. And Lil TJ, I've actually heard a little bit, actually. I've seen his name. But those are the only two that I wasn't necessarily aware of. I don't know about you guys. Those are the only two I wasn't really aware of at all. So.
I don't know if those are the only two for me. Just shout out Fivio Foreign Weddy's a great song too. Check it out. It was almost my party of the week, but it's old. Great song. But yeah, with you, 24 Golden, I was not familiar with him at all, and I forgot what song it was that I listened to that I liked. But I want to say it was City of Angels, maybe. But he has one song that's kind of big that I enjoyed. I didn't know who else on here. I wasn't entirely familiar with Cowboy either. But does he have a TikTok song? Is that why he's like he has one song that's big?
He was the only person I didn't listen to. He's the only person I didn't listen to. But
personally, I don't think you're missing much.
I don't think I'm missing much either. But I have to ask real quick. Should Pop Smoke have been on this list?
Well, he was. They said they've come out and said that Pop Smoke was the first person that got the spot on the list, and that I think he was interviewed for it, but he passed away, of course. So They
said they wanted him for a posthumous recognition, but for like some reason, they said for reasons out of their control, prevented us from including him as part of the cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably something with his like estate or something
Same.
happened where.
Okay, I just wanted to wonder because I saw I heard parts of an interview with the editor-in-chief of XXL. There was other reasons, obviously.
Oh, did we talk about Polo G? Because I knew Polo G very well. That's someone who I did not go into.
Oh yeah, Polo G. I kind of mentioned him. Yeah, he's from Chicago, I believe. He had one of the biggest albums.
He's,
What was that? Oh, I was saying Polo G. He's from Chicago. He's like his album's still in like the top 15 of like on the Billboard 200 of like the most popular albums.
Cowboy, Chicago too.
Yeah. A Cowboy, for real?
Yeah, he's from Chicago too.
Really? Oh, I thought he was from Cali. That's what I thought. Cowboy. Okay, whatever. We learn something new every day. Yeah, Polo G. A lot of people love that album. From I think it came out early this year or last year.
Do you remember on like our first or second like pod?
The first few.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that. We were like, "Who is Polo G?" People love this guy. Who is that?
You know, the young kids must love him. You know.
Yeah. He's actually solid though. He's solid.
Yeah.
I get it. I get why people love him.
And then I was even Jack Harlow. Like I knew Jack Harlow was what's popping, but I couldn't name another song from Jack Harlow. So I just listened to him a little bit more. I mean, he's good. Jack Harlow, he's a really talented guy.
That's actually very interesting because Jack Harlow, I actually heard like about a year ago, I heard about him because he had a single drop with Bryson Tiller. He's from Kentucky. That's why Bryson Tiller and him are both from Kentucky. And I heard him, and he had some pretty good songs, some good projects. And it's so interesting. In the past year, he's now like has a top 3 song on the Billboard now. So it's so crazy how much can change in a year for a lot of these people.
Yeah.
Like, do you think Jack Harlow still would have been on here if What's Poppin' wasn't as...
No.
You get the Lyrical Lemonade video and all that?
No.
Actually, the Lyrical Lemonade, that does do a lot. But actually, I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Poppin's probably the larger reason he's on this list. I'm not sure I see him.
Yeah, typically with a lot of these XXL Freshman lists, somebody that has a top song is on there. Like I remember Lil Pump was on here, and he had one song out. Designer had just Panda, and he was on the list. I can't think of anybody else, but a lot of people, they might have one artist who's on there just because they have one song.
Amine was on one of these, yeah.
Amine was on there. They switched it up. They have some artists that are there because they've been bubbling, but they have like a big, a cult fan base, and they have artists who has a big top song. So, just because all these artists I don't necessarily like, it is a good representation of the music climate, the rap music climate right now, especially for the younger crowd.
Before we skip, I'll talk about Mulatto because she was on the rap game. You remember that show, the Jermaine Dupri show? And I think she won.
That's right. I think she did win.
And her whole thing at the time was she rejected his label offer because he wasn't paying him enough. And I mean, it worked out for her because she signed to a new label and she's been releasing a lot of music. She had the song. I knew her because she just literally released a song with Gucci Mane. That was a spin on Freaky Girl.
What was it called? What was the song called again? Muwap.
Right. So she to me sounds so Atlanta, and that's why I love it. Like to me, she sounds like such like an Atlanta female rapper, and I love everything about it. I listened to some of her other songs. She has a song called I don't know what our cue on cursing is, but B Word from the South, and that there was a remix with like Sweetie and like Trina or something. Like she's a pretty big, not that surprised to see her on here. Y'all, a lot of people on here though are young. Like the list is always young, but reading the ages, take out 5-Year Foreign who's 30, Polo G 21, Chica 23, Baby Keem 19, Mulatto 21, Jack Harlow 22, Broadway 20, Lil TJ 19, like 24K Golden 19. Like being our ages now, it's just crazy to just imagine that like these people are at least achieving this amount of success at their age,
Yeah, exactly. So
cool.
It is really cool, honestly, and it just makes me feel older now that these artists these artists are popping off. Not only like we know them, they're breaking through at younger and younger and younger ages. Like
that's the thing.
This guy, like
at younger and younger ages, I think it's just we just are noticing it more because we're now older.
Like guys, this guy is not on the XXL Freshman list. We talked about him a couple weeks ago. NBA YoungBoy is only 20. He's been out for the past 4 years. He's only 20.
I've been listening to Baby Keem for like over a year now, and I'm like, oh, he was like 18 when I started listening to him. That's weird.
Exactly. So kind of looking back and looking forward with this, will this cover have as much success as the last cover, especially going back to last year? When you look at the last cover and the people on that, you're like, wow, almost everybody on there is doing their thing. Almost like if you see this list, if we see it, we can see it again. I see Yeah, I see Babyface, The Baby, Tierra Whack,
YB and
Lil
Cordae.
Mosey, Roddy Rich, YB and Cordae, YK Osiris, Rico Nasty, Gunna, Megan Thee Stallion, Blueface.
Yeah, this is a really good list. I remember
Like this is basically the Hot 100 top 5 right here, basically.
Yeah.
You know, the crazy thing about this is for Roddy Ricch, this is before the box was out, right? Like any of those big singles. So like it's crazy predicting who's gonna be the one to break out, you know. But I mean, yeah, I feel like this list was a stronger list when it came out. You know, compare how we perceived this artist then, you know, versus how they're perceiving this list now. I do think they were stronger at the time they were selected for the list. We all knew who Megan Thee Stallion was. I knew who Gunna was. Rico Nasty was had her own base.
We knew the baby. We knew the baby.
We knew Roddy Ricch. Tierra Whack had a
project.
Amazing visual thing she released.
We knew Blueface.
Like a lot of the artists seem to be more like already kind of broken through than the artists on this year's list.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. It's really interesting. I like that point, Nnamdi, about how our perceptions change. Like we're looking back like, wow, this list is so much better than the one now. Mm-hmm. And obviously a lot of people, I feel like every year people are like, man, the list sucks. Like every year people say the list sucks because like they have an artist that should have made it. And there's artists like, man, this guy should have been on the list forever. But if we go back from it, if we look forward to a year from now and a lot of these artists start popping off, we're going to be like, wow, that's a solid list considering, you know, the times.
And Avery, I'm happy you brought up 2018 because I was just going to say, if you want to look at a list that didn't hit as well, I would say 2018 because with the exception of Jid, maybe Trippie Redd kind of, like not a lot of these people have been able to maintain the momentum they had at the time they were selected for this list.
Yeah, and you know what the thing is, Nnamdi? I was about to say this. All the success is kind of, I would say it's kind of depends on the artist. So like Jid is not as popular as like a Lil Pump was or something like that, or a Trippie Redd. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're going by like Instagram followers or people who know who he is. But Jid has like a certain fan base and a certain level of success that we're like seeing him because then he did the Dreamville thing. He did the Dreamville album and he signed to J. Cole or something like that. And he has like, you know, a certain fan base and he has a certain level of success that we're like, huh?
You mean I'm talking he was picked or not?
I'm saying now though. Cause like, I'm saying we're because it's all like all these artists aren't the same level of popularity when they're on the XXL Freshman list. Okay. They're not all like, but I'm saying Lil Pump at the time had a #1 single and Jid didn't have any #1 single. Like they're not all grading them on the criteria per se. Like the reason Lil Pump got on is different from the reason Jid got on, is what I'm saying.
#1 single, I don't remember.
It was Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang, Gucci. Oh, is that what it's called? Was that what it's called?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, the whole song.
That's what I'm saying.
The whole song with just 2 words.
I'm saying the reason that artists are getting on the list are different. They vary for different reasons. And then we're gonna look back, you know, if Lil Pump didn't have a hit, then we're gonna be like, oh, look, he failed. Jid doesn't have a hit, but we're not gonna say he's not successful. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
does Jid have a popular hit? Does Jid have a top 100 hit?
At the time of this came out, so I get what you're saying in the sense of like a viral huge hit, but I want to say like Gucci Gang wasn't. I'm not sure that was number like that. It was big for the crowd that it was in.
No, it was a Hot 100 hit, Nnamdi. Gucci Gang was a Hot 100 hit.
I'm gonna let you Google where it peaked on the Hot 100 charts and then get back to me with that because it was big, but it wasn't. Whatever we're defining a hit as, I don't think it was. I don't remember what it peaked at, but to me, it felt. What I'm saying, a lot of these artists typically have had a couple songs that have been big enough to have a big base. You know,
peaking at #3.
Hot 100.
Hot 100 #3. That's what I'm saying. We grade these artists differently.
But but I'm not grading in the way of I'm expecting a #3. When I say maintain your momentum, I mean whatever momentum you had, being able to maintain it. Lil Pump's momentum, he still had a base. I'm saying I haven't seen him with a project that's not a #3, but a project that has generated this level of attention he had.
Yeah, for sure. I'm agreeing. I'm not saying you're wrong or anything with any of these things or anything like that. All I'm saying is like we're grading the level of success of these artists. We're grading on a different scale because like I'm going back. J. Cole and Freddie Gibbs were on a list together. J. Cole is one of the biggest artists in the world. Freddie Gibbs is not one of the biggest artists in the world, but nobody would say he's not successful in his own way. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, we're not expecting these artists to be the biggest in the world or the biggest rappers in the world. But I'm saying there's a level of success where, you know, we're hoping for them to maintain, for us to look back and be like, oh, J. Cole was successful because he's one of the biggest artists in the world, but Freddie Gibbs is still successful because he's still making amazing music. That's all I'm saying.
That's a very good
point. Do you guys think that the XXL Freshman list is a good indicator of future success?
Yes. I think there's some years where there's misses, but I think if you go back, because what I told you what I've been doing today is literally going back to the list and looking at their ages. So I've really been reminded of what those lists have looked like. And I think overall, they've done a pretty good job of predicting who we're going to be, like the big heavyweights of our time. Like, look at the list from 2009 to 2011. 2009 had Wale, it had, maybe
Kid Cudi.
That's list, but Kid
Cudi.
B.O.B. was on there. Like, they were good for around that time. They were hot for a while. 2010 had J. Cole, Nipsey Hussle, Freddie Gibbs, Big Sean, Wiz Khalifa, J. Rock, like a whole bunch of big names. 2011 had Kendrick on it. So they have managed to get all of our big heavyweight mainstream people on the list, and the artists that they don't have probably is by their own choice. One thing I didn't know was the amount of people that have just declined being on the list.
Yeah, ASAP. I think ASAP said no one time. I think ASAP Rocky said no.
The list. So ASAP Rocky, Drake, Nicki Minaj, Young Thug, Party Next Door, Tory Lanez, Post Malone, Rich the Kid, Nav, Young M.A, Juice WRLD, and the list goes on. So the list goes on and on. But so the artists that aren't on that list, I'm more inclined to think they declined to be on the list and they were snubbed.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. XXL gets a lot of slack for it, but they've been pretty accurate for the most part. There's always going to be misses with everybody, but
it's always, if you can give it credit for one thing, is it's always a pretty decent, like a pretty good snapshot of what music looks like at the time, right?
Exactly.
And that's all it's really meant to be, right? Is like, this is what happened in 2020. This is what happened in 2019, and you can look back at that time and be like, these were the artists that were like popular then.
If y'all just look at the first cover ever, those guys were probably in their mid-20s, 30s with baggy pants. Like, you can just see how much times have changed. Like, the way rap was then is way different than what rap is now in terms of the popularity, like in terms of what people are listening to. So
these are really like draft classes, like an NBA draft class.
It really is.
Yeah. But guys, let me ask you this, because I'm looking at this Wikipedia thing that has all the years of freshmen stacked up next to each other. What year would you say is like your favorite? And I put a Wikipedia link in our rundown if you want to go see what I'm looking at with all them stacked, because I'm just looking at this and y'all, XXL has done a pretty right there.
Okay, solid job.
Like, they've done a really good job. Like 2012, Future, French Montana, Macklemore, Machine Gun Kelly. 2013, Schoolboy Q, Joey Badass, Logic, Travis Scott, Chief Keef. Like, they've done a pretty good job, like, getting the people that would end up being these like really big influences on music on their covers.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I would say,
who are you giving it to that, including this year, has had like, it's easier with time. But what do you think has been the strongest year?
I know mine off top is 2013 because it's the time. Those are all. That was the cover that had the most artists I listened to on a regular, and I'm actually big fans of like Schoolboy Q, still love Joey Badass, still love Absol, even Logic I still mess with, Action Bronson, even Travis Scott. I mean, he's still popular now. I forgot who the last one is. I can't remember, but yeah, that's probably my favorite list. I don't know if that's the best, but that's my favorite list.
Yeah,
I think to me, when I look at like all of these, and it's more recent, so like it probably changed in a couple of years, but if I'm looking at a list where it's like pretty much no one on the list is like unsuccessful, I'd probably say 2016. Where you have the least successful artist is probably Designer, and that's not too bad. That's not bad at all.
That's probably the best percentage the XXL has hit, because literally every artist is pretty much doing their thing except Designer. And you know what's so crazy? At the time, he had a number 1 song, Panda. He had the number 1 song.
Yeah.
And now he's the one that's like everybody forgot about.
I want to say that was label issues, but still very, very true.
He's still coming out with music. I still see
that. Is he?
Yeah. I just recently came out with a song, I think.
So I am split between 2010 for obvious reasons. Because of course, like, there's enough like Cole, Nipsey, Freddie Gibbs, Big Sean, Wiz Khalifa, J Rock. I enjoy all of them and still listen to their music. Albeit they've all peaked at various places, I do think they all like release quality stuff. But also, like, I'm looking at 2014, and that wasn't they weren't, maybe they didn't all peak as high, but Chance the Rapper, Original Big Quan, Isaiah Rashad, Ty Dolla $ign, Lil Durk, Kevin Gates,
Gates.
That's a good list too.
That's a good list. So I'd say one of those two. But yeah, I mean, XXL's done their thing. I look forward to seeing what else what the list looks like. And I'm sure if we come back to this, we'll equally be like, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
what makes a successful list, and do you think that 2020's list was successful? I guess, it's nothing that we can probably say right now because we don't know how popular they're going to be, but do you think it will be?
I think it just varies because, like, what's so crazy? A list like 2009, for example, you have some big artists on there, but somebody like Blue, who I shared his album with Avery, he's the one that made that Miles album. He's a really underground artist, and he's not as popular as anybody on this list, but I still say he's very, very successful in terms of underground music. He's basically an underground legend, essentially. So it's hard. Everybody dresses success differently. Oh, wow, I know Benny the Butcher denied that ever. Wow, a lot of people.
2012 is really good too.
Yeah, man. Every list is actually pretty solid, honestly.
Future,
I can't even
Danny
hate.
Brown.
I can't even hate on. I can't hate on any of the lists because they're going off who's popular at the time, and when we look back, and we're like, dang, that did not age well. It's just Avery said best. It's a snapshot of the time. Heck, even 2015, it's cool because it had Vince Staples on it and Gold Link. I mess with them a lot, so like.
And that's I think the answer to your question, what makes it successful, is it an accurate snapshot of time?
Absolutely.
It shouldn't be all mainstream. It shouldn't be who just has the number ones. It shouldn't be go to each region of our country where go to the Bay Area music scene, go to the New York music scene, go to the Atlanta music scene, go to these big Chicago, and tell me what music looks like in these regions. And I think they did that. I think
absolutely
they were able to capture that. I think the only name missing is Pop Smoke, and they tried. So I can't.
Yeah. That's the other thing, man, is that I'm looking at these artists who didn't show up. It's like XXL, if say everyone said yes, you have the generation's best artists on here.
Exactly.
Nicki Minaj, Drake, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. If everyone said yes, you have the pantheon of this 2000s, 10.
Kid Cudi.
I don't know what year they said no to. Nicki Minaj and Drake, that's 2009, right?
2009.
Yeah.
Maybe 2008. Maybe 2008.
I almost wonder if they asked them to do it in 2010, and they were like, well, no.
We're too big.
We're too big.
Yeah,
we're too big.
I
think for Drake and Nicki, it might have been 2008. It might have been for them because they were doing because it's kind of like a year before they start popping off.
Yeah,
it's not the year they pop off. It's like the year before they pop
Drake
off.
for Nicki Minaj in 2008.
I say 2008 because Drake's first album came out in 2009, I believe. His first.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't see them to 2008 because one, they didn't have one 2008, and then two, it's more so
I'm saying maybe that's not why they didn't do it because they didn't get the big artists. It would kind of suck if you had to. I'm just saying it's possible.
Well, okay, let's use it. No, I feel like I could see it being 2009 more because they do wait. While they wait till you have something out, or at least for a lot of these artists, at least some big project. And So Far Gone, the EP was 2008, so I feel like 2009 before his album came out would be my guess for when. We don't know, but either way,
we don't know.
I wish I'd know.
Yeah. So XXL, they have their place in the culture. In the culture, whatever you want that to mean. But
so you guys thumbs up, thumbs down for this current
thumbs up.
list?
Why not? Thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Well, I wanted to come back in a year if you remember, and it's maybe even 6 months, just revisit where these people are and see really what it is.
Hey, you never know. Lil Keat, or just picking a random name, could drop the next big album, right?
That's true.
Next album that pops off in 3 weeks.
Because one thing I can promise you is this time next year, I don't think any of us would have thought Roddy Ricch and Lil Baby would have had the most successful albums of the year. So, or at least some of the most successful albums of the year.
That is true.
All right. Any other thoughts, guys, before we do Project of the Week on the XXL list? Good. We've said it's a strong enough list.
Yeah. I had a lot of music from this XXL list that I was listening to, and that just inspired me to listen to all kinds of music. I listened to a lot of new albums I never listened to. I was listening to, this was a great mixture. I was listening to old albums, from the 90s. I was listening to new albums from these new artists and new albums that came out. I was listening to artists that came out in the last couple of years of albums I just missed. That Sir album, y'all. This is random. Sir album from last year.
Album.
The album's great. The album's great. It's great. So
Project of the Week, segue.
No, it's not my project of the week, but still a lot of great.
I want Noah to go first again on Project of the Week because for the second week in a row, I have no idea.
Well, this is actually random. Okay, I found this guy. I was on a YouTube video, and he was the ad, and I was like, "Who's this artist doing an ad, man?" And it was playing.
Good for him, though.
And I was like, "Yo, this song is fire. What is this?" So I looked him up. J Grams, Every Gram Counts. And actually, he's actually signed to somebody that has a lot of artists I like. He's signed to Cinematic Music Group, which is an independent label kind of. They have artists like Joey Badass is on the label. G Herbo was on the label. Nipsey Hussle was on the label. A lot of people have been on that label, actually. So he's just the newest signee. I think he was signed last year. So I enjoyed his project really good. He's from Baltimore, Maryland, actually. So I enjoyed his project really good. 40 minutes, it's like 14 songs. Really good album. Really enjoyed it. Jay Graham's Every Gram Counts. Graham counts. So yeah.
And then my project of the week was, like I said earlier, Cash Page, Teenage Fever. She is an R&B artist from Dallas. Shout out to Sydney. Sydney Walton's the one who like introduced me to her music.
Hey, we need her on the show.
I know, for real. But yeah, I don't know. I really like her voice. This is her debut album. She had an EP that kind of popped off a year ago, I'd say. But yeah, I don't know. If you like R&B, I think you'll like her.
I'm gonna listen to her, Avery.
Yeah, she's good. She's good.
Mine is Victoria Monet Jaguar. We had this album in our new releases a couple weeks ago.
This album's good.
As you guys know, we have so much music comes out that you just can't listen to all of it. So I just got to it, and I started with the song Jaguar, which, by the way, fantastic song. Probably my favorite song on this entire project. Completely encourage you all to listen to it. But I wanted to listen to Victoria Monet because she's a songwriter who's written a lot of big songs for like Ariana Grande and like the Fifth Harmony, T.I., like just a whole bunch of people. So I knew she, on a base level, was probably going to be good because of her experience, but she exceeded my expectations. I think it is a really good R&B album that is sort of progressive while still also like have some influences from 80s and into it as well. Like I think it sounds really good. I was a fan, encouraged you all to listen. Jaguar.
Yeah, I listened to that too. That was actually really good. I was surprised.
The entire thing?
Yeah, I did. I got it actually from the Joe Budden podcast. Joe Budden said it was good, so I listened to it.
Shout out Joe Budden.
Shout out Joe Budden. Yeah, so good week of projects, guys. Good week of projects. Good week of music. I'm excited for next week. There's a lot of albums set to release, so I'm excited.
Baby.
Baby. I was waiting for it. So yeah.
All right, that does us for this week of the 97 Demo podcast. Be sure to tune in next week for even more stuff. Don't know what we're going to talk about yet, but it's going to be great. Follow us on all of our socials at the 97 Demo on Twitter, at Namagwan, at Avery Dalal,
at Noah McGee _, at Noah A McGee _. Follow us on Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Music, Spotify, all that.
We're on everything. Share with your friends. Like, comment, resubscribe, unsubscribe, and subscribe again. Show us some love. Show us some support.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you next week.